It's Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It was nice to see that even though they couldn't follow the same blueprint as last season or just the way that everyone thought their offense was going to run this year, Josh Jacobs struggled and Jordan Love stepped up. And if you're a Packer fan, that's what you were hoping to see, is that in the moments where you can't rely on the run, can the quarterback that you invested a lot of money into, now draft capital, putting weapons around him, rise to the occasion, and he did.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
When the game is on the line and provide the kill shot to knock out an opponent. It's like they're afraid to put the Buffalo Bills away. The safer call was giving it to Derrick Henry and giving it to Lamar Jackson on the ground, as opposed to putting it in your MVP's hands and allowing him to make plays in the passing attack. I just don't understand it.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
They trade Marina Mabry, then they turn around, and then obviously they fire Teresa Weatherspoon, and it's been a hot mess. You go and, draft Cardozo and Reese, basically two of the same player, meaning bigs that can't step out and shoot. So it's a little bit of a clown show when you talk about the Chicago Sky.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. So another 3 and out for the Raiders. I will say, the one thing about this is you're getting a lot of possessions, which tends to wear the defenses down, even though they're being successful. Like, you get a drive that takes time-consuming drive and ends in a field goal. That's obviously pretty good. But when you go back and forth, like these two teams are doing right now, Gabe, sooner or later someone breaks through. We got still 5.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. So Raiders 3 and out. Geno almost made another Geno pass. I mean, it was a great play because it worked for like 5 yards, but it was like an accident
risky.
waiting to happen. He's falling down
over the middle of the
left.
field.
He's throwing, and he's throwing to his right.
He lobs
like
it
Geno.
up.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Geno. Just throw the ball away, brother. So, all right, so 3-3.
This is a big
Raiders
drive.
getting 4.5, 44.5. Yeah.
The total's just falling to 44.5.
I guarantee, you could play these plays on these player to catch a pass. No, I guarantee you they run at least 2 of the next 3 plays, the Chargers, after throwing the ball, after calling 6 pass plays, their first 2 possessions.
As long as we're on a commercial break here, quick look, Scott, tomorrow night, Atlanta Dream -4 against the Indiana Fever, 159.5. Aces and Storm, Aces -5, 161. You and I talk a lot of WNBA, and I did get in on it. I had the Atlanta Dream in a parlay yesterday, but I had a parlay with the Vikings, unfortunately. But I did play the Las Vegas Aces last night. But now they travel, Scott. They're on the road right now, laying 5. I loved it last night, but we do have 2 WNBA playoff games tomorrow night. And the first one starts at 7:30, actually. Any opinion on the Dream and Fever?
I'm going to go with the over on that one. I expect a much better effort. I don't know if Indiana actually wins. Atlanta's won like 7-8 in a row now. They're 15-3 their last 18. They're very quietly. Everyone's talking Minnesota and Vegas and stuff and New York, obviously. Atlanta's just kind of hovering around there. I think they close it out. I think the teams that won, except for New York, I think the teams that won the first game will win the second game. I'm getting Atlanta -3.5 and the over-under at 159.5. Indiana plays a bunch of high-scoring games, so I would be surprised if that doesn't hit 160.
That was an ugly game yesterday, though. It was really low scoring, 80-68. Right. I tuned in, and I'm like, man, it's 35-30 at the half or whatever. It was really, they were really battling. The ones that went over yesterday were the blowouts, right? The Lynx blew out the Valkyries 100-72. And the Aces beat the Storm 102-77. And that was a gift, Scott. I know you were on it too. Minus 5.5, 4. It went down to 4.5, 5 at tip-off, and they won by what, 30 plus?
Yeah. Teams won 16 in a row. They're at home, 15 in a row, whatever it was. They're at home.
Championship pedigree. Won 2 of the last 3 championships.
Yeah, right. So sometimes these lines just don't make any sense. You know, I try not to read into lines that much. It was just like, well, I must say, when I clicked the game on, and I saw it went down to 5.5 because it was 6. I'm like, oh, geez, what's going on here? But I'm like, you know what? Let me just do it because I'm not going to screw around. Yeah, it was easy. It was a no-brainer. They took off from the start too. I was live. Yeah. It was like 3 ball, like 12-2, 13-2, 13-5. Like it ballooned quickly, and they did not take. Because sometimes the Aces have taken the pedal off the metal in the regular season and blown like a backdoor cover or something like that, but. Right. And they take Asia Wilson out. They did not last night. And the Lynx sent a message, too, that they're not playing around, drilling the Valkyries. Chargers with a couple of plays here, Scott. Ladd McConkey sighting over the middle of the field, so they're throwing the ball a bit. I would expect the Chargers to score on this drive. Like, I think they're going to start to open up. They're on the Raiders side of the field right now, 2nd and 4. We'll see if they can get a touchdown. With Dicker, I'm telling you, this kicker's good, Scott. Like, they're nearly in field goal range as is. Najee Harris, by the way,
here's
6
Herbert.
yards.
Here's Herbert, Scott.
Run.
Herbert, and
nice.
There's a flag on the play, guys, but I think it's offside Raiders. I think this is gonna stand. I think it's gonna be offside Raiders. Herbert just picked up like 10, 12 yards.
Really? We can hit this already. If it's 12, that would put him at 17.
Please, well, look, give us the call. Give us the call here, and we'll know they're still. It's definitely they're talking to Harbaugh right now, what he wants to do. All right. So he picked up more than 10 yards on the run. So let's keep it. Yeah. Let's see offside. Penalty declined. So I wonder why they're even asking. Yes, sir.
Oh,
penalty declined.
Nice. Way to go,
so what did he get? Let's see what did he get
now. Let's double down.
Because they couldn't make it official until they declined the penalty there. So let's see what it is now.
Sometimes they don't even ask, when it's so obvious. Like, I don't even know why. Why would they ask that? I mean, he gained 15 yards or whatever it was.
He's at 17. It was 16 and a half. He's at 17.
You still got to sweat it at the end of the game.
Yeah. A couple of more. Let's give a little insurance here. Let's get a cushion.
Yeah. Let's give us a
Scott,
little bit of
it's the first quarter, bro. It's the first quarter. We're doing well.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Come on, man. We got 17. It's 16 and a half.
And I tell you, the good thing about betting quarterbacks who don't scramble, generally speaking, we're not talking Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields and those guys, right? Is that Gabe? They don't call running plays for him. So as we mentioned before, college sacks count against your rushing. NFL, it doesn't. So they're not going to call any play. The only way he's going to lose yards, point being, is on those goofy end of the game take a knee. You don't necessarily have to worry about, okay, we're going to run Justin Herbert to the left. He's going to lose 5 yards. No, it's they don't call those plays with him and those type of quarterbacks. So we're pretty good with that. All right, so what's the latest number now? Let me see. Rid of rushing yards. They have him at, he's got 17, 29 and a half. They jumped it way up.
Ooh.
So you're going to get 13 more yards. I think they're on to us now.
I think he gets there, but
that's too scrambled.
I don't want to force it. Like if you would have told me 23 and a half, like under 25, I would have jumped in, but getting up to 30 now, it's asking a lot,
Yeah.
He probably does it, but because they do throw the ball too. They're throwing on this drive right now.
Yeah.
You called it.
Yeah.
The only time he runs is if it breaks down. They don't call design runs for him. Maybe once they did once against Kansas City and it caught him off guard. They really don't want to get him. They don't mind him running, but they're not going to start calling runs for him. He got his rib broken a couple of years ago, if you remember, running the ball. He doesn't even like to run that much, but he's built like Josh Allen, so he really should run more, but, it is what it is.
He's been hurt so many times. So, So, what you do? You don't put it in now. It's 29 and a half. Let this drive go through. Let the Raiders get the ball, and then it'll get down to, like you said, maybe to 23, 24, 25 even isn't too bad. But, I don't want – because the 13 is more than likely 2 scrambles. I want to get it where we can get on 1 scramble. So, but all right, they are driving, so maybe we'll get some points in play here.
The mind of a better on the SportsGrid network. We're at 17. We're like, more. Oh, and right on cue, Scott.
Don't cash out.
Right on cue. He just ran for another 10 yards.
Oh,
Except, God, he better not be hurt right now. He just got hit in the head. Oh, my God.
See, that's what I mean.
Target. It was one of the, yeah, Scott, this is, exactly. This is right
That's what
now.
I mean.
Dude, we're done now. I swear to God, if you're Harbaugh, you're telling him, all right, hey, Justin, we're done with the running now.
We're done.
We're done.
Yeah, that's
We're
it.
done. Look at this play, Scott. He nearly just got murdered. Look at this.
Wow.
We're done. I'd be telling him no more. No more.
No. If you can't take it,
you tell him you just throw it away next time, Justin. We know you're tough, but throw it away. It's funny, Scott, we were just talking about they don't want to get him killed, and he gets killed on this play.
Yeah. Let me see the play. I'm moving it out. I'm just getting the play right now.
Yeah, so look at this. A lot of times, Scott, it's sort of like, what do you want the defender to do? Like, it was sort of like, no. The guy in the Raiders went right for his head. Look at it.
Oh, that's got to be a penalty, right?
That's the definition of targeting, guys. There's nothing like, that's a soft NFL. No. You can't, launch and hit the guy in the head like that.
Yeah. That's in college, ejection.
I can't believe he's not kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done in college.
I mean, and he was sliding at everything. I mean, he was well into his slide.
And he launched, menacingly, Scott, too. Like, you could see, no, I know what I'm doing. It was one of those deals.
Yeah. See,
I would have kicked him out.
Yeah, he's lucky. Like I said, college, he would have been out of the game. The NFL, they give you the one chance. All right, the game live continues here on the Grid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It was nice to see that even though they couldn't follow the same blueprint as last season or just the way that everyone thought their offense was going to run this year, Josh Jacobs struggled and Jordan Love stepped up. And if you're a Packer fan, that's what you were hoping to see, is that in the moments where you can't rely on the run, can the quarterback that you invested a lot of money into, now draft capital, putting weapons around him, rise to the occasion, and he did.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
When the game is on the line and provide the kill shot to knock out an opponent. It's like they're afraid to put the Buffalo Bills away. The safer call was giving it to Derrick Henry and giving it to Lamar Jackson on the ground, as opposed to putting it in your MVP's hands and allowing him to make plays in the passing attack. I just don't understand it.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
They trade Marina Mabry, then they turn around, and then obviously they fire Teresa Weatherspoon, and it's been a hot mess. You go and, draft Cardozo and Reese, basically two of the same player, meaning bigs that can't step out and shoot. So it's a little bit of a clown show when you talk about the Chicago Sky.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Touchdown. We've had to have a touchdown during one of the commercial breaks, and it finally happened tonight. But of course, it's Keenan Allen. Right away, everybody's like, it's like McConkey. Is it Quentin Johnson? But no, we got a touchdown right now. Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert to Keenan Allen right now. All right, so Scott Wetzel will step back up and in. Let's bring in Rowett right now from Covers.com. We got a touchdown in this game. Nothing wrong with a Monday night doubleheader, Ro. Good to see you. How you doing tonight?
Good. I mean, yeah, I'd love to see these matchups, especially at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so who are you on in this this game? The Chargers or the Raiders? You on a side total? You got some player props? What do you want in this game?
My favorite play was the over. I had the over 46.5. I was kind of like waffling. Like the line was just flipping between 3 and 3.5. 3.5, I was like not really sure about the Chargers. Then it looked like Bowers was going to play. So I wasn't really sure back and forth. But that total didn't move. It was 46.5 when Bowers wasn't expected to play when he was out practice on Thursday and Friday. Then they said he's probably going to play after on Saturday. And that line didn't move. So I thought the total was the play. So I grabbed the over 46.5. Got the over on Geno Smith's passing yards too. Went off in week 1, so that was sitting at like 243.5. I took the over at Herbert's passing yards at 252.5, but I think that closed at like 60 or so. So riding on these quarterbacks on the over here.
You know what? It's not a bad pace, actually, though, huh? After last night, I think we're all sort of shell-shocked still after the terrible game last night with the Vikings and, no props hit. It was just one of those duds, a couple of times a year in prime time. You're going to get them. Tonight's earlier game started off as a track meet, then slowed down. But here we go, Ro. We got 13 points in the first quarter. Because honestly, I bet the over this game as well. And I'm on the Chargers -3. I laid minus 18 cents, so minus 118 to -3. But it didn't make a lot of sense to sort of like the over this game if you think about it, right? Pete Carroll, Harbaugh, a lot of, running the football. Clock will be ticking. A lot of familiarity between Harbaugh and Carroll over the years with each other. Yep. But here we go. We got 13 points, and I agree with you. Now Geno Smith's going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we've seen with this Chip Kelly offense, it's very, like, up-tempo. I like what they were doing in week 1. I really like what they're doing with the 2 tight end sets, too, because, honestly, I don't think Trey Tucker does much. When they have him running those slot routes, doesn't do much. I'm thinking you put Mayer in, you put Bowers in, you got 2 wide receivers on the outside. You can create a lot of mismatches in the inside. So I really like their 12 personnel looks and kind of the different things they can pull out of that. And the other layer to unpack here too is that Hampton and G&T haven't done anything so far. I thought these guys were going to, be one of the best running backs in the league from week 1. So once those guys, start to kind of get into their gear, I think both offenses could really hit another level. So really looking forward to that. But so far the running games have been bottled up. Smith's been kind of up and down, but I mean, that was a nice drive from Herbert.
I played Hampton under 14.5 rushing attempts tonight. Believing it, Harris and Khalil Mack is now leaving the field, guys. Something to keep our eye on. Looks like he hurt his wrist as he goes in to the tent. But yeah, I didn't think Hampton was going to get 15 touches. Harris is back. I expected Herbert will be throwing the football. Herbert's rushing yard prop tonight, Row, was 16.5. Man, he's already got 17 yards. Yeah, but I don't know how much he's going to be running anymore after he got smoked in the head, on that last play. Looking ahead right now. Looking ahead, I want to ask you about Thursday's game. Man, McDaniel, if the Buffalo Bills, smash them and humiliate them, if it's one of those, 42-0, 32, 31-0 type of games, got to believe McDaniel could be fired on Friday morning. What do you think of the opening number here at, well, you know what? It opened last week at 9.5, 9.5, but it's 12.5 right now. What's your early opinion on the Thursday nighter?
Yeah, I mean, this is, he's playing for a job, but at the same time, I mean, I thought the Jets were going to put up a fight against the Bills. The Bills just rolled them. So yeah, I mean, I'm not. I think this is one of those spots where I think McDaniels has lost that team. I don't think there's really any good vibes out of that locker room right now. They're not really doing much. That defense looks like it's the worst in the league. So I think you're going to see them get crushed, especially playing on the road in Buffalo. That place is hell playing. And yeah, I mean, I think the Bills just look like a machine right now. So yeah, I think the Bills just pump them, and I think we do see a new head coach in Miami pretty soon.
Now, Rowan, I know you like to bet on the WNBA, and during the last commercial break, I just brought it up because we're going to start tomorrow at 8:00 Eastern, and the Atlanta Dream game starts at 7:30 tomorrow. Atlanta Dream are 4-point road favorites against the Fever. Total is 159.5, and the Aces lay 5 on the road in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle, 161 is the total. Any opinion on the WNBA games tomorrow?
Not much. I mean, honestly, most of the time I just tail Jason Logan over at Covers. He's our resident WNBA expert. I find a lot of the times that WNBA is one of those things. It's kind of like the CFL. Sometimes you got these really weird, scheduling like games and stuff like that. You have teams like flying overnight to play someone on like 1 day of rest. And you have another team on like a week of rest. It's a lot of weird stuff like that. Then you see the lines move like crazy as well. So I usually just tail someone else who follows them a lot closer than me, and that's usually Jason.
And speaking of, we got Major League Baseball going on tonight, too, guys. I don't know if you got any action riding on this, Rowan. San Francisco Giants and the D-backs. Critical series for both of them. And the Phillies and Dodgers big-time series. Phillies are up 1-0 on the Dodgers right now. San Francisco, Arizona tied at 1. Any opinion on the baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I was liking the Dodgers there for a bit, but this is going to be a battle. I mean, the Dodgers just haven't looked like they're still, one of the better teams in the majors, but they haven't looked like those world beaters that I saw at the beginning of the year. I was like, the NL is the Dodgers. They're going to crush it. And then you saw the Phillies, you saw the Mets for a while, and now it looks like it's going to be a battle. So I think it really could be anybody's. I think even in a situation like in LA, I think you've got these interesting matchups, and I think the Phillies are a good spot here. What's the live line looking like in this one? Yeah,
it is minus 140 Philadelphia, LA plus 110. I like the under 8.5, but I didn't have the courage to do it with the bullpen game tonight with the Dodgers. It's 6.5 right now, but Suarez has been so good, Rowan, for Philadelphia. I didn't think there would be a ton of runs scored tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is the Phillies pitchers have been great. Suarez has been great, but that Dodgers bullpen has been pretty solid too. So it's really touch and go for me. I don't like to bet bullpens a lot of times. There's so much volatility, but I mean, in this situation, I like Philadelphia. I think even minus 140 is that value.
RowitCovers.com. Thank you, Rowit.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It was nice to see that even though they couldn't follow the same blueprint as last season, or just the way that everyone thought their offense was going to run this year, Josh Jacobs struggled and Jordan Love stepped up. And if you're a Packer fan, that's what you were hoping to see, is that in the moments where you can't rely on the run, can the quarterback that you invested a lot of money into, now draft capital, putting weapons around him, rise to the occasion, and he did.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
When the game is on the line and provide the kill shot to knock out an opponent. It's like they're afraid to put the Buffalo Bills away. The safer call was giving it to Derrick Henry and giving it to Lamar Jackson on the ground, as opposed to putting it in your MVP's hands and allowing him to make plays in the passing attack. I just don't understand it.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
They trade Marina Mabry, then they turn around, and then obviously they fire Teresa Weatherspoon, and it's been a hot mess. You go and, draft Cardozo and Reese, basically two of the same player, meaning bigs that can't step out and shoot. So it's a little bit of a clown show when you talk about the Chicago Sky.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks to Rowit for joining. Gabe, as I was doing a little something here. So, we always say this, Gabe, trust the line, right? All right, so the Chargers get a touchdown to go up 10-3, and here come the Raiders right down the field. Now, they're not quite in the red zone, but they are moving the ball. They're inside L.A. territory. They score here. All of a sudden, it's 10-10. We got 20 points, and we got basically the entire second quarter still left. So that's what I was saying earlier when they were going back and forth, three and out. If you don't get a sustained drive, you can only go to the well so often. And sooner or later, these offenses are going to kind of kick themselves into gear, and that might be what's happening right now. Over-under is 49.5. They might get to the 47 and change when everything is said and done. It's amazing.
I think it will, Scott. I believe this game is playing to the over. Geno Smith on a 2nd and 17 just scrambled for 16 yards. Didn't bet his rushing yard total over.
Yeah.
So he just scrambled. You got a 3rd and really short coming up here right now. But there's a flow to this game. And another thing, if you'll notice, Scott, there's a lot of penalties in this game, which is like aiding and abetting, right? Like, both sides. I mean, there's holding penalties, but you also have defensive penalties. They don't like each other. So you got the late hit or the hit on Herbert. There's chunk plays coming here in this game. Ashton Genty's getting bottled up, though, for the most part here. I know it's early, but I'd be slightly concerned about this. You're gonna, to me, you're gonna have to just give him the ball a bunch of times to find out if you can do it or not. Right? If you don't get him going, it's just gonna start to build like each week of, you only got this many yards, you only got that many yards. If you win games, all right, you know what I mean? Like people won't notice as much, but if you lose, people are gonna start to wonder about, you drafted this kid 6th overall, and you're not really using him that much. But like you said, Scott, total is 49.5 right now, and I would not be rushing to my computer or my phone to bet the under.
Genty last week, Gabe, 19 carries for 38 yards. So far again this week, he has got, 6 carries for 15 or so yards, something goofy. Let me just double check to give you the exact number. He has 5 carries for 13 yards. So
he just caught a ball here out of the backfield. I know, good. And I warn people about this. I like him. I'm not being critical, but you're not playing Hawaii and Wyoming every week now. Like he was in the Mountain West, man. You know what I mean? So he played the Oregon Ducks once. He had a pretty good game, and he got shut down against Penn State in the playoffs. Right? So he played 2 good defenses in his career,
and he was barreling guys over, Gabe, too, in college. Like, if you watch him in college, he was, knocking guys over. Which, and I remember saying this at the time, same thing. I like him, but, you're not going to be able to knock guys over. You're not knocking linebackers over. You're not knocking 225-pound defensive backs for the most part over either. That's where he got. I'd like to know his numbers, yards after, being hit.
And you can get running backs later in the draft. I hate to bury them because you need a good running back. I'm just stating, if you're going to draft a running back that high in the draft, it better be Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley type,
Yeah.
Say Bijan Robinson, Scott, he did it for the Texas Longhorns. You know what I mean? He did it against, big time competition consistently. We saw it, right? Like I said, not to degrade the Mountain West, but we're just being honest here, right? I mean, the Mountain West is not the NFL. There's not a lot of Mountain West players in the NFL.
Yeah. Simple as that. You're playing, you said it, Hawaii, San Jose State, heck, even
Wyoming.
Fresno State, Wyoming. It's not exactly a who's who of college football.
You're on the best team in the conference on Boise. You know what I mean? So it's you and everyone else. UNLV was their top competition last year. You know what I mean? To put in context. Yeah. So they hold to a field goal attempt.
It was probably their rival. All right, so it's a 10-6. They kicked this field goal. How long was this one? Let's see.
40 yards. 40-yarder.
Yeah. All right.
There's points, but it falls to 47.5 for me. I don't know if you got the same number. I see 7.5, 47.5.
Yep, 7.5.
Interesting that they're interesting. Hey, the Chargers 7.5. It's a pretty pricey play. We were talking about the 6.5. Now they've crossed the 7 barrier. 7.5.
7.5. Yeah. Little magic
Only down
number
4.
There, 7.5. Yeah. Look at the.
My brain's fried. Who got the ball first? All these games are merging together for me.
Raiders with the. Remember my boy Gino.
Oh, that's right. It was first play of the game. Thank you. Yeah. So the Chargers get the ball to start the second.
Yeah. Look at the rushing numbers now. Hampton was 55.5. He's got 3. In fact, he's got -3.
How many attempts?
They lowered it to 40.5. Just the one. One attempt for -3 yards. It's down to 40.5. Harris has the one carry for 6 yards. He's at 20.5. I still think he might be the one. Genty's at 13 yards, and then they lowered his number to 45.5.
Wow, 45.5. Huh?
Herbert is your leading rusher at 26 yards. How goofy is that? Yeah, 45.5 yards. When do they stop going?
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It was nice to see that even though they couldn't follow the same blueprint as last season, or just the way that everyone thought their offense was going to run this year, Josh Jacobs struggled and Jordan Love stepped up. And if you're a Packer fan, that's what you were hoping to see, is that in the moments where you can't rely on the run, can the quarterback that you invested a lot of money into, now draft capital, putting weapons around him, rise to the occasion, and he did.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
When the game is on the line and provide the kill shot to knock out an opponent. It's like they're afraid to put the Buffalo Bills away. The safer call was giving it to Derrick Henry and giving it to Lamar Jackson on the ground, as opposed to putting it in your MVP's hands and allowing him to make plays in the passing attack. I just don't understand it.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
They trade Marina Mabry, then they turn around, and then obviously they fire Teresa Weatherspoon, and it's been a hot mess. You go and, draft Cardozo and Reese, basically two of the same player, meaning bigs that can't step out and shoot. So it's a little bit of a...
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. That's pretty funny. Scott and Gabe, hour number one. I'm just looking at some of the box scores here from baseball. We'll get back to the football here in a second. This guy Banda pitched to two guys. He gave up one hit. He got one out. It was a home run. And they just said, that's it, kid.
I tuned in, Scott, and I'm like, there was a blonde guy on the hill. I'm like, that's not Banda. It was like right away. I know.
And what's weird, Gabe, is that the guy who was supposed to start, Sheehan, is now in there.
That's what confused me.
For whatever reason, that screws up all your props. Each site is different, but if you had a Sheehan strikeout problem, like he was a late scratch, or not really, well, scratch, I guess you could call it. But if you had over strikeout props, now he's got 4 already, but most books I know have to have the guy to start. He didn't start,
you know what?
Even though he may go 5-6 innings. I don't know if you're going to get credit for that.
You know what my guess is, Scott? That they played a little lefty-righty game. Banda's a left-hander. Right. So they had some strat. You know what I mean? Dave Roberts really does think a lot, huh? Like, trust me. And I've told people about the Dodgers bullpen in the playoffs. I always say their starters will pitch in the playoffs. Like, they will completely change everything. And it finally came up, Scott. Ohtani coming out of the bullpen in the playoffs is now on the table. Like, Dave Roberts did not dismiss it. He said, yeah. And him saying all options are on the table means it's going to happen, because word is it's happening. Ohtani will pitch more in the playoffs, but out of the bullpen. Remember, he closed the World Baseball Classic for Japan, right? He's done it before. That was his first time as a reliever, but he's done it before in big spots. And Roberts brought it up even. He said, if he can handle Mike Trout in the WBC, I think all options are on the table. So expect to see it, Scott.
Yeah. How about this, just to kind of throw back in the Dodgers' faces, right? So you're right. They bring in the lefty to face two batters, really one batter, Kyle Schwarber, right? He's the lefty. He bats second for Philadelphia, and Schwarber hits a home run off the dude.
So he plays the mat. You love it.
He plays the mat, and then he yanks him after that.
Wow. Not just him. That's an organizational thing, Scott, that all day they were discussing it, and this is what we're going to do.
All day, I'm sure. Like, who do we want to put in there?
We're going to throw a curveball at them. Like, they're going to be surprised. Wow. Banda's going to start, and then we'll put Sheehan in, and then they still give up the home run.
That's funny. That is really funny.
What are you going to do? That's when you're sitting there as a manager, and like everyone's like, wow. Schwarber's pretty good.
His analytics, And if Sheehan comes in and doesn't give up another run, then they'll really be kicking themselves. But you're gonna get.
You know what's weird? What's weird? There was a total. Like I said, they played this little lefty game. Sheehan nearly pitched a no-hitter in his last start. Like, the guy's been really good his last 3 starts. So what's your problem? Just roll him out and let him start the damn game.
Yeah. He was brought in. He was made a starter to pitch to really 2 guys, right? Schwarber, who bats second, and Harper, who bats third. He strikes out the first guy, the righty, and he's a lefty pitcher, gives up a home run to Schwarber, and he walks Harper. It's a nice job. Thanks for nothing, right? Amazing.
But they did just tie it. They did just tie it, though, for the record. We got a 1-1 game. Dodgers now minus 140, plus 120. And you said it, Scott, even. And the Phillies are a damn good team, but you even said yourself, give me the Dodgers anyways, even with this bullpen game.
I knew it was going to be it wasn't a smart bet, but ultimately it's you want to give me the Dodgers, basically pick them at home. And it did adjust the lines, too. It dropped them a little bit. They weren't big favorites anyway, but even the boys in Vegas thought it was just going to be a whole bullpen by committee game, when in reality, it's just they wanted to have a lefty starter. They used to do that last year with the then Oakland A's. Man, I can't tell you how many games I bet with the A's, and they changed the starting pitcher for doing just this. Only 2 guys. I'd look at I'd see the headline, and Joe Schmo, pitches great ball against the A's, and the A's would change their starting pitcher. It was fuck, it didn't count. I was like, wow. Some sites offer you action, which means it doesn't matter who pitches. Other sites
that used to be more old school. You notice nowadays old school days, guys.
Whatever. Though.
Yeah, when you bet it's almost like Uber Eats. Like when I hit pickup and it asked me, "Are you sure pickup?" You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with betting. In the old days, guys, when you bet on a baseball game, it would specifically say action, yes or no. Remember, it'd be action, and you click the box, and basically, action meant, guys, that if one of the starting pitchers was scratched, your bet still stands. But if you didn't click action and one of the listed starting pitcher when you made the bet was canceled, right? Yeah. I used to become an action guy unless it was an ace, Scott, because I didn't want to play games. I was like, whatever, just give me the damn action. You know what I mean? I don't want to be worried about this all the time.
Yeah. So, and it makes it even worse when, like I said, and this was what would happen with the A's. The regular starter would be coming in after the first couple of batters, so you're seeing him in the box score. You're thinking, okay, I won that bet, but then you realize, no, he didn't start. So it does stink. So same
Tampa
thing.
were the ones that started all this. Tampa years ago, they were the ones with Madden. He didn't have any pitching. He decided, you know what, I'm going to start the bullpen. And everyone thought this is going to be a disaster. I even remember betting against it when he started doing this. I was like, how's this going to work? You put in a bunch of guys, and it worked. And you remember Madison Bumgarner said, if this thing becomes a thing in baseball, I'm retiring. This is the stupidest thing ever, starting relievers. Man, it became a thing for real.
Yeah, and he retired a few years later. So, yeah, and now everybody does it, basically. I mean, at least maybe not every single start, but 2 or 3
but once a week type thing, anyway. It seems, a couple of times,
definitely.
So they're giving the ball to Genti a bit here, Scott. I didn't click the over, that 45.5 that we talked about. I thought the Chargers were going to score in this last drive, so this game is sort of slowing down as well. If for the total, we're going to need a touchdown to keep on pace here. Fallen to 44, and it was 43.5, just moved to 44.5 right now. So we're 10-6, but this second quarter is kind of rolling along. 6 minutes left right now, Scott. So you might be right about this getting into the 40s type of deal, but not quite to the over when it's all said and done.
Yeah. And I tell you, this is one of the more bizarre games I've seen out of Jim Harbaugh. Game, if you want to count the 3 scrambles for Herbert as passes, right, and that's what they were intended to do, they've called 13 pass plays and 3 running plays. One of them was to their wide receiver, Quentin Johnson. Harris and Hampton have combined for 2. It's strange, right? I mean, you're leading, you're winning. It's not really effective, though.
And
Herbert's only 5 of 10 for 50. So
I know. They're probably. I think Harbaugh wants to get a lead, and then he's going to start running as the game goes on, right? Yeah. If you can get a little a 17-6 cushion, he'll definitely start to run. Did he catch this? No. I thought potentially the Raiders just threw a big bomb, but it wasn't hauled in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 44.5 the total right now. The Chargers are minus 270 on the money line. Chargers plus 210. So you and I always talk about, like, what the computer is doing. And you can really read a lot into a football game through it's like there's no emotion with the algorithm. And this isn't like an odds maker. It's a computer algorithm. They really like the Chargers, man. Minus 270, Scott. They're only up by 4 points. And they don't even have the ball. Like, the other team has the ball. It's a 4-point game. They're on their home field, and they're minus 270 on the money line. You don't normally see that. They're like 6.5. Like, the computer does not believe in the Raiders right now.
On the road, no less, too. You know, which is always a little caveat there, kind of built in. All right, we'll see what the Raiders, trying to move the ball. Let's see if we can get something here from good old Gino. I've just seen that little pass now. Yeah,
Pete Carroll thought it was pass interference. He's really campaigning.
Yeah. Don't Pete. It wasn't. I'm working it up.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. So Raiders failed to really move the football at all. They have to punt. Chargers will get the ball, leading it, and they're up to 6.5 now because they have the football. So 4.5 when the opposing team has the ball, 6.5 when you have the ball. They're assuming you're going to score. Money line's now up to minus 330, and the over/under is 43.5. So I'm trying to get that sucker down to maybe 39. And then go over, Gabe, and then same thing with the rushing props. You know, we talked about it, here quite a bit. Chargers just aren't running the ball right now. That can't continue. All right, Herbert can't throw 40 times, I wouldn't think. Get some of these Charger rushing numbers second half to get into the 30s maybe. You got to figure Hampton or Harris, they're going to start getting the ball somewhere along the line. And Hampton's down to 36.5. Harris is down to 17 and a half. There's no way these guys, when everything is said, is not going to have those yards.
Herbert, 38 and a half now. He's up to 26. 38 and a half. We should have jumped in at a 29 and a half before, but I didn't want to get greedy. Genty, we kind of missed out, Scott, on the 45 and a half, 46 you were talking about. It's currently 56 and a half for Genty. He's at 30 right now. Yeah, Geno Smith is at how about this one, though? I'm going to jump on this, Scott. Geno, and listen, we've seen Geno. He's pretty mobile tonight, bro. He's buying a lot of time in the pocket. He's taken off a couple of times. Geno Smith, guys, his rush yard prop is 16 and a half, and he's at 15 right now. We got to take this.
Not bad. Yeah. His number to start the game is only 10 and a half, too.
And he's probably not going to be taking a knee. I think the Chargers are going to win. I'm just saying my own personal opinion. So he's just got to rush for 2 more yards here.
Yeah. And they're not running the ball right now, or not effectively anyway. You take out his scrambles, and they've run for 35 yards.
And if the Chargers take a lead here, Scott, he's going to be even more forced to, or a bigger lead. You know what I'm saying? Right. Chargers have the ball now, guys. They can sort of eat up the rest of this half, and then they get the ball to start the second half. This is a big sort of pivotal swing in the football game, this drive.
Yeah. Chargers already have 2 sacks, too. So the more passing opportunities, the more chance you have for Geno to start scrambling a little bit. So, yeah, I like that, too. I was going to play, we talked, I saw it, sometimes I just say, what the fudge? I'm going to put in 30 plays, Gabe. And then other times I kind of how many plays are you going to put in here, guy?
Last night, Wetzel,
so
I was clicking like a shopaholic on Amazon before the Viking game.
Yes,
I had a pretty good weekend, Sunday Night Football. I'm like, Jefferson's going to score. Robinson's going to score. I like a Hawkinson touchdown. Yeah, let's go over this and that and this. And I literally went 1 in 15, like the long field goal prop hit. That's it. And it was one of those games that I kept chasing those 32 and a halves. And, there's no way it doesn't go over 29 and a half. It didn't get anywhere, basically. I lost every in-game bet. It was just one of those disastrous games.
It happens, man. Happens to all of us, right? No matter what you think is going to happen, sometimes it just doesn't.
Yeah. There's always a few bombs, duds, on prime time. A couple of games a year where it's just shutout or 6-3, nothing happens. It's going to happen.
They could have, I don't know the rules and regulations. I used to follow that stuff. It's getting goofy now. But you could have had Kansas City, Philadelphia. Instead, they chose Atlanta, Minnesota. Or they were given Minnesota, Atlanta, I'm assuming. Not that the Eagles-Chiefs game was great, mind you. But, look what you ended up getting out of all the games.
NBC doesn't get first choice.
Right. You were saying that, last week.
Yeah. So. CBS and Fox get the first, they pay more, because they have multiple games. So, they're not going to let NBC pick the best one and screw over, the people that paid them more money.
Right.
NBC pays for one game a week, right? Fox and CBS are paying for multiple games.
Yeah. Some of the battles they must have over who's getting the good Sunday night games or Monday night or whatever.
That's why the secret, the TV execs are secretly trying to play golf with Goodell to work them. Hey, listen, we're getting, hey, Mr. Commissioner, President of NBC's on the line. You know what I mean?
I remember that the Monday night schedule a couple of years, this is probably 3-4 years ago.
Remember, they screwed ESPN.
Just
ESPN complained. Because they were fifth. They were fourth in the pecking order.
Tennessee
and there was nothing left.
Every week.
There was nothing left.
Atlanta versus Jacksonville. 5 people are watching, right? So, it's picked up a little bit since. It has. But I do remember
because they complained. Yeah. And same with the Thursday nighters. And, the funny, remember the Thursday nighters were bad, and the NFL just sort of admitted it or accepted it. They were it's bad, but it's we're going to put the Jags and, Titans on. They put the AFC South games on Thursdays type of deal. But the ratings were bad, even by NFL standards. So even the NFL realized, even on their own network at the time, we can't just put bad games on Thursday, right? You look at the NBA, they only put really the same teams. It's kind of annoying, but they won't even take a chance of bad games, or at least what they think will end up as a bad game. But the primetime schedule is pretty good this year, Scott, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Look, what's the game? We got a good one Monday again next week.
Yeah. Who was? I saw it the other day. Who is it next week?
We got the Bills Dolphins on Thursday, so that's our next primetime game.
Yeah.
But the Monday night game next week, the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens.
How good is that? How good is that?
High spread, too. Hey, the Lions are getting 6.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, they stacked the deck here first few weeks of this regular season, haven't they? We've had some monster games. This is not like college football where you got to wait to get into division play or conference play, right? We've had some Baltimore Ravens, Lions, we've had a few of them. So
Micah Parsons, 2 weeks, Sunday Night Football, goes back to Dallas. That's the Sunday night, or Green Bay in Dallas. That'll be a circus.
Yeah. That won't be, that'll be crazy.
So see if the Chargers can score here. We just came back for the 2-minute warning. Man, they go for a dagger. Oh, my God. And we hit the Quentin Johnson prop, Scott. Plus 260 for a touchdown, baby. Dude, he's been really good in week 1. Quentin Johnson touchdown. How many yards is that? 60-yard touchdown catch, Justin Herbert. See, they soften him up with the run. I said earlier, they soften him up a little bit, and then boom, go deep,
Wow. All right. Again, now that.
Oh, we got points now. Now the Raiders still have time, though, dude. There's like $1.50 left, guys. The Raiders have time. They to do something.
Yeah, we may get almost 30 points when everything's said and done.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It was nice to see that even though they couldn't follow the same blueprint as last season, or just the way that everyone thought their offense was going to run this year, Josh Jacobs struggled and Jordan Love stepped up. And if you're a Packer fan, that's what you were hoping to see, is that in the moments where you can't rely on the run, can the quarterback that you invested a lot of money into, now draft capital, putting weapons around him, rise to the occasion, and he did.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
When the game is on the line and provide the kill shot to knock out an opponent. It's like they're afraid to put the Buffalo Bills away. The safer call was giving it to Derrick Henry and giving it to Lamar Jackson on the ground, as opposed to putting it in your MVP's hands and allowing him to make plays in the passing attack. I just don't understand it.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
They trade Marina Mabry, then they turn around, and then obviously they fire Teresa Weatherspoon, and it's been a hot mess. You go and, draft Cardozo and Reese, basically 2 of the same player, meaning bigs that can't step out and shoot. So it's a little bit of a clown show when you talk about the Chicago Sky.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. So we got a little bettor's dream here when things kind of tend to pick up a little bit, and that's a 2-score game. I always say, we said it in the first game, if it stays 1 score, and that was the fear I had with this game, in that if it gets to be a 2-score game, then all of a sudden the playbook gets thrown out the window. You start throwing the ball a little more. You got a whole second half here. But we got a bit of 45 left to go in the first half. Chargers score. Touchdown, 17-6. Herbert gets 1 touchdown pass. So I tell you what, I'm just realizing it now. I got Chargers touchdown field goal. I got Raiders field goal.
That's
All
right.
I need.
You need a touchdown.
13-1 ticket, for a Raider touchdown here. One of my goofy props.
You could hedge that. You win, so 13-1, eh? Will there be a score on this drive? That's how you can do it.
Goal?
Let's see. There's options though, but there's options.
Oh, my luck.
Yeah, I know. Let me see here. Let's see what the options they're offering here. Not player props. All right, all here.
Yeah.
All right. So will there on this drive? Let me see. Winning drive, field goal. No, they pulled it since the drive started.
Yeah, they pulled it. Son of a gun.
Normally you could bet that, like what's going to happen on the drive, like turnover, field goal, whatever. Like, you like to sort of take in the weird sort of mini long shots in the game. I used to do it last year. I haven't done it yet this year, but on the drives, dude, you get like plus 850, plus 1000 on a turnover, and you got to be consistent though, Scott, and sort of do it on every drive. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And if you just sort of hit it once in the game, you're good, and you stop. Like, it's like, all right, I just hit the plus 750 or plus 850. You're like, will there be a turnover on this drive? Plus 650 type deal. Look, there was on the first one, right? So there's only been one turnover tonight, but that's just sort of one of those. We'll take a look at it on Thursday early in the game. And also, especially with Tua playing and the Dolphins, there's going to be some turnovers.
Oh, there's going to be,
He's going to get drilled, sacked, fumble, or whatever, intercepted, Yeah.
That's not a bad one. I like that one. So, all right, we got
even on the next drive, I'll pump it up. If not, we're not going to be here for the second half, though, guys. So we're going to stay with you through the half, give you our best bets, but we're going to sign off due to previously scheduled programming.
Yes, that's the nice way of putting it. So, all right, we're close to midfield here. We got it. I almost rather have them hit like a Hail Mary try. What do we got?
This ain't good for the total. It's sort of yes and no. Look at this. The Raiders threw a bomb, old school Al Davis football into the end zone, intercepted though. And he's like down at the 1, and there's a minute left. So I was hoping for some Raider points on the way out here.
Raiders had 3 timeouts though, so you forced them 3 and out with over a minute left, or right about a minute. Yeah, about a minute and change left. Get the ball after a punt. 40 seconds
Look at this
left.
pass though. Gino throws it into double coverage. Like it never had a chance. There's literally 2 white jerseys there. Like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Okay, you want to go deep? Sort of look and go, all right, you know what? The safety's helping him out here. This isn't going to work. Let me improvise on the fly here.
I don't like throwing a bomb on 3rd and 6. I throw it on 1st or 2nd down.
And even getting a field goal, Scott, makes it 17-9, puts you within in a score, little momentum going off the field at the end of the half. Chargers get the ball to start the second half now. Like the Raiders really put themselves behind the 8 ball with that aggressive play call.
That's Gino being Gino, right? That's, sometimes he could have run the ball too. He was scrambling out of the pocket, so I don't know if it was designed, but the wide receiver ended up going deep. But you're right. He threw it into double coverage. There's no way. He underthrew the guy. He's running. Yeah, he's at the – yeah.
So you're right. How many timeouts? Yeah, 3 timeouts. And you're right.
3.
Pete Carroll's working the refs hard here, so he's definitely going to try to force a punt out of the end zone, which could happen, actually. You're right. With a 3 timeouts, Scott, if they don't pick up any yards, they'll have to punt from the end zone here. And the Raiders with their kicker could potentially be in field goal range. But you were just kind of in that situation and threw the ball into the end zone for whatever reason. Like, you didn't need a touchdown there. Like, just play it, like I said, take the 3, make it 17-9, and it's not that bad. You're down 1 score.
Would you rush the punter? It's 2nd and 8. Or would you try and block the punt and get a safety?
I would play for a return.
Would you? I think I'd play for a safety. I'll take the 2 points. Maybe the
I imagine they're going to send a kitchen sink if they do punt from the end zone. Yeah, I imagine they will. Throw it at them.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about running into kicker. Even if they get the first down, who cares? They still have it at their own, 15-yard line.
That's a good point. So. Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. Like, you can sort of sell out on it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And you get the ball back anyway, just a little bit further down the field than you would.
They throw the ball on 2nd and 8. They need is 3rd and 2 now. So big play coming up here.
Big play coming up. You know what happens. We come back.
The sharpest football football contest show in the land. The Las Vegas Football Contest Show focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It was nice to see that even though they couldn't follow the same blueprint as last season, or just the way that everyone thought their offense was going to run this year, Josh Jacobs struggled and Jordan Love stepped up. And if you're a Packer fan, that's what you were hoping to see, is that in the moments where you can't rely on the run, can the quarterback that you invested a lot of money into, now draft capital, putting weapons around him, rise to the occasion, and he did.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
When the game is on the line and provide the kill shot to knock out an opponent. It's like they're afraid to put the Buffalo Bills away. The safer call was giving it to Derrick Henry and giving it to Lamar Jackson on the ground, as opposed to putting it in your MVP's hands and allowing him to make plays in the passing attack. I just don't understand it.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
They trade Marina Mabry, then they turn around, and then obviously they fire Teresa Weatherspoon, and it's been a hot mess. You go and, draft Cardozo and Reese, basically two of the same player, meaning bigs that can't step out and shoot. So it's a little bit of a clown show when you talk about the Chicago Sky.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live, game day here on a Monday, turning into a Tuesday here on the East Coast in about a half hour or so. So one half is in the books. Raiders, they did their due diligence. They called some timeouts, but the Chargers actually got a first down. So ran one more play. So we've just reached halftime, 17-6. So no extra free points there, if you will, to close out the first half, unfortunately. So 11.5 and 45.5 are your numbers. We'll get to the baseball here in a second, but just to kind of recap things here, on pace, it's up from 3.5 to 11.5. Pretty good jump there for an 11-point lead. They're making you lay 11.5, which is a little telling. And then the total's right around where it was, 45.5.
I think, even though I'm on the Chargers, I still think it's a lot of points. I know the Raiders didn't play great. But one thing with the Raiders, they are taking shots. They're trying to be aggressive. It's backfired on them. I think from a betting perspective, and I'm speaking to somebody, I'm on the Chargers. I do have the over, but I got the over and a bunch of teasers, Scott. I played a 10-point teaser, so I got over 36.5. I took Tampa plus 12.5, under 52.5 in the Tampa game, and over 36.5 in this game. I got the Chargers in a teaser. I got the Chargers on the money line, or I got the Chargers -3. I'm all over the place with the Chargers here already. But it's a lot of points. I got to believe the Raiders, they can backdoor this at that number. I got a 12.5 here too, Scott. But now with the situation, the Chargers get the ball first to start the second half. They're going to be trailing, right? I think Geno Smith passing yards comes into play here. The Raiders really don't have enough time to run the ball very much anymore. Let's just be real. If the Chargers, they're down 11 as it is. The Chargers score even a field goal, they're down 2 touchdowns. They're going to have to throw the ball for the rest of this game, and it kind of could get away from them. But I'm seeing Geno Smith just fell to 240.5 passing yards. I think he goes over. He's at 97 right now.
Yeah. Bigger picture with the Raiders, and I do like that as well. FanDuel's got it at 233.5. That's
even better.
Really, yeah, he's got 97. Herbert's at 133, 236.5. So they're both about 100. Well, Herbert's about 100 more, and then Geno's about 140 more. Bigger picture for the Raiders game is they got to find their identity. They tried to run last week. They weren't successful. They're trying to run a little bit this week. They're not successful again. You put Geno in a situation where he has to throw and they know he's going to throw, then, you find out why it's Geno Smith, right? But when he has a balance, he can be really good. But you throw them in this situation where they're not going to run the ball.
His strength, Scott, his strength is just quick hits. You're right. Drop back, quick hits. His strength isn't let's throw a bomb down the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really isn't. Like, he's a good West Coast style, like, quick hit type quarterback. But the Raiders' scheme seems to be a little different, in which they're going deep. He's 11-19 tonight, but because he is trying to throw the ball deep a couple of times. Genty, 7 carries, 30 yards. At least he's averaging 4.3 yards a clip, but it's a little deceptive. He got 13 yards on the first run. So take that away. 6 carries, 17 yards. He slowed down quite a bit as well. They got to give him a couple of more cracks, but if they're down, they can't, they're going to have to start throwing the football. His updated number now, guys, is 52.5. Genty's at 30 right now.
Wow. I think the Chargers come out looking for the kill, trying to go up 3 scores first drive. Then whatever they end up doing, if they do, then maybe these guys will hit some of their rushing numbers. Hampton's at 22 yards. They're giving us 56.5. Harrison, he did that 1 carry. I'm a little surprised. He had 6 yards on 1 carry. That's the only time he's touched the ball. His number's 15.5. I still think somehow he's going to get 16 yards when everything is said and done. I would think. And then to Herbert, we would follow, and he's at 35.5. So now it's a little bit closer to, at 20. But I don't know if they're going to be throwing as much second half. But that's not a
One thing, I'm a little concerned as an over better. Like I said, I got overs in the teasers as well, so I have a little bit of a cushion. But if the Raiders don't score, this isn't getting there. Like, you know what I mean? They're running out of drives to score. I mean, it doesn't feel like it, but here we are. They only have 6 points. So, yeah, we're at 23. So you're sort of on pace, but like you said, if the Chargers score again and they make this 24-6, they're going to run the ball. Then you're going to see Michigan Big Ten Harbaugh come out of his shell. You know what I mean? So, and then if the Raiders aren't scoring, then this game is just going to get bled up by the Chargers picking up first downs for the rest of the night. So either if the Chargers score, the Raiders better respond quick and it turns into a track meet, and or the Raiders better get a stop and score. Otherwise, I fear this really could slow down this contest.
Yeah. This was a weird game. I'm on the Raiders and I'm worrying. I would double down. Yeah, I was leaving a little piece on the side to double down. Now is when I would do it at 11.5. I think ultimately somewhere along the line they got to score here and make this at least a 1-score game when everything is said and done. So, baseball, Dodgers took a 3-1 lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies, for all intents and purposes, Gabe, can clinch the number 2 spot if they were to take 2 out of 3, more than likely 2 out of 3. I don't think they necessarily need a sweep. They're 4 up on the Dodgers now. There would be 9 games left. If they take 2 out of 3, they would be 5 up. That would end things. And that's huge.
Dodgers gunning for a sweep here. They're gunning for a sweep against Philadelphia.
Yeah. If they don't, the way it's set up now, depending on what happens, is it would be a Dodger-Mets first round.
Wow.
I don't think the Dodgers want to deal with that. So
a rematch of last year. The Mets have a chip on their shoulder.
Right. Our Giants getting the doors blown off 7-1, by the way, to Arizona.
And Dave Roberts, the Dodgers talked too much after they won last year, although it was all like their stiff players that did it. But even Dave Roberts, I know he didn't mean to insult them, but, when they were doing a bunch of podcasts, they were all drunk all the time for a week after they won it. Dave Roberts said the only team that we feared was San Diego. And he goes, no offense to the Mets and Yankees, but San Diego's the series we were most worried about.
I remember that, yeah.
Met players are going to know that. You know what I mean? Yeah. There were a couple of Met players I remember last year that said, we'll see them again. And the Mets didn't have Soto on the team last year. Now they do.
And I'll tell you, Gabe, I know it sounds weird, but all the pressure would be on the Dodgers if the Mets actually got in, because they're playing so bad, the Mets, that once you
the Mets are underdogs. Yeah, they'll be the underdogs.
It's just no more being the favorites, no more having a $300 million payroll. It's like, no, we're playing the champs. We're playing lousy baseball. No pressure on us. And just sometimes that just takes the cloud off you. When you finally get in and you start reading the rhetoric about how the regular season means nothing, you're in the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. All 3 games would be in L.A., but still, we've seen the Dodgers struggle at home at times this year. So that's big. Like I said, the Dodgers need a sweep. Get a sweep. Now you're only 1 back with 9 left, and now it's anybody's game as far as that number 2 seed.
You mentioned San Francisco getting lit up. So that's not good for them. They came in, they're on the same spot, a game and a half back, but the Cincinnati Reds did win tonight, Scott. So Reds still lingering. Big win for Cincy tonight.
Yeah. All these teams, all within striking distance, as we talked about. So wild card picture right now. Mets and Padres both off. They start a series tomorrow. That should be good. Giants probably will be 2 back because they're not going to rally from 7-1 down, more than likely. Reds pick up a half a game. They're 2 back. Arizona figures to win. They'll be a game and a half back. You're going to have 4 teams within 2 games of each other heading into the final week and a half.
It's going to be a fun couple of weeks. Man, this playoffs. Can you imagine if we have the Mets-Dodgers in the first round? How good is that? Like, just think of, like, the precursor of, like, that's the first, like, series out of the gate.
And you could have Yankees-Red Sox game in the first round as well, the way it's set up.
You think the network likes that? Rob Manfred's an idiot, and he's going to fall ass backwards into the ratings windfall. And everyone's like, see how smart I am? I'm great. Like, it's like, no, bro. Just, no. Like, the teams are just popular. But I'm going to go over to 45.5, guys. I'm going to die on the hill here. I think there's going to be points in the second half here. We need the Raiders to score to do it, but I think they can do enough to do it.
I'm kind of in your same corner. I'm going to double down on the Raiders plus the 11.5. So we both need the Raiders to come up with some points here second half. Getting 11.5 at home, down 11 is good enough for me. So great job by everyone here on board. Gabe and I'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern, our normal time until 10. And otherwise, enjoy your Monday, folks.
The sharpest football.
Open hand with the left. That is smart strategy. Big left hand turn.
Focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor.